Slight said he's heaven sent. Third person omnipotent. Great words, no difference. I don't rap, I make art. Bird need a race car. This ain't for the faint heart. Above clouds like Game Star. That's in my blood. That's in my blood.
Welcome back to the SLD podcast. This is episode number 32. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're there at Slightlee Daily on all social media platforms. Before we get this one started, at 100 subscribers on YouTube, I will be doing a giveaway. I'm not going to spoil on what kind of giveaway it is, but we're at 93 subscribers, 7 more. We're almost there. So keep that subscriber count going. Please share me to your stories and whatnot, to your MySpace feeds, Facebook feeds. What's that thing called that they used to use back in the day, the Messenger app?
Jenga?
Nah, well, yeah. Oh, fuck, what was it called? Damn.
Kick?
No, not Kick. Hold on, man.
Club Penguin?
No, not Club Penguin. Damn it, what was it called? Hold on. We can't.
Oh, we're cussing today.
Hold on. We're not starting this podcast till I figure this out. Man.
AOL?
AOL. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Really?
Share me to all your friends on AOL. Yeah, that literally was it. I had the little person, the little like yellow person looking thing.
And as always,
and yes.
doot doodaloot doot. Oh, is that not this?
Doot.
This isn't that one. This isn't that show. My
so
bad.
yes, I got Connor with me. He's in the big boy chair. I'm on this couch.
Love this chair.
We got a candle going. We I guess you could say we have a direction we're going. We're gonna talk about some creepy crime cases. But
I thought this was conspiracies. Mine's a conspiracy.
Well, yeah, I mean they're definitely.
What is Holly Bobo a conspiracy?
No, well, no, not necessarily.
So
It's true crime stuff.
All right, we're going with true
and
crime.
And then but I also have.
I'm not texting. I am going to look up what this guy said, though.
Yeah, you're fine. But also, yeah, it'll be a little bit of both. So
I got in trouble for texting last time.
Yeah, he did, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're all good.
Do you understand what happens when you get in trouble on the Slightlee Daily podcast for texting?
You get reprimanded.
Yeah, and after 5 reprimanded, you get a write-up. Then 5 of those bad boys.
Yeah, like I'm the boss. So, I mean, do you want to start out with your first one, or you want me to?
After 5 write-ups, you get a merit. 5 merits. Oof.
You're done for. Do you want to give me yours first, or do you want me to start it out?
Do you know like yours off the bat?
Yeah, I was just gonna start out with Stanley Kubrick. I mean, I know we talked about him a little bit before, but
see, is this true crime?
Listen, bro, I said true crime, conspiracy.
My wires are getting mixed, man.
There's nothing. It's all creepy stuff.
I'm about to overheat.
It's all creepy stuff. Stanley Kubrick.
Creepy.
What do you know about him? I'm not gonna sit here.
I didn't know till today.
I'm not gonna.
Today years old, like 20 minutes old, when I learned that he faked the moon landing.
It's conspiracy theory, but yes. So, Stanley Kubrick. Let's see. He made the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. I haven't seen it, but think about that, okay? It's a space movie. It came out in what? Like the fucking 90s? Or no, like the 70s or the 80s or something. So, just off of that, 68. The movie came out in 68, all right? Well, duh, obviously, because the moon landing was 69, all right? So, 2001, A Space Odyssey is a space movie, and they travel through space, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, all right, so let's go back in time to the 60s, okay? What was going on in the 60s? The Cold War, JFK. It was a race to the moon, all right, with us and Russia. Basically, America.
Did you hear that thunder?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Apparently, Stanley Kubrick, long story short, apparently he filmed what we see as the moon landing, of Neil Armstrong hobbling on that moon. Apparently that was like a Hollywood movie set.
This is always
just so JFK could say we got there first.
Yeah, this has always been my thing with that. If they if they did it, it'd make sense because it was basically like, yeah, we did that. You don't got to worry about it. Like we already got there.
Yeah, we
just
did
to
it.
buy them enough time to get there first.
That's the theory. But Russia ended up doing it though. They ended up going years later. I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure China actually did too. But
China's been to the moon.
I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so
I didn't think that was a big deal till
going to the moon.
right now. No, going to the moon's a big deal, but other people going to the moon besides us didn't
Well, it
really
was
hit
kinda
me
just
till
like
right now.
It's kind of just like us flexing our muscles. Like, look
Yeah.
what we do. We win wars. We drop nukes on people. We go to the moon first. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I watched like I think it was a YouTube video on this, and they like showed like some. I mean, you've seen like those videos of like people in space where it looks like they're on a wire. Like recent-ish videos from like the 21st century. Like it looks like they're hanging from a wire.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's
But what if they
creepy.
could be hanging from a wire in space so they don't just float off?
yeah, but they're in the spaceship.
Oh.
They're inside of the spaceship. No suit. You feel me?
Oh, I haven't seen these.
Well, yeah. So you'll have to look at. Well, I can
Put it on the
show
TV.
you, I can show you those. Yeah, I'll put them on the TV.
Get that going so I can see. They could very well be hanging from cords, right? Just to make sure stuff don't go wrong.
I mean, yeah, but they're in the spacecraft though.
I wouldn't mind being attached to a cord in a spacecraft, so I don't,
So you don't like float off?
I guess it would be like reassuring. Space smells like burnt steak.
Oh yeah.
Weird. Wow, why has no one ever asked that? Like, what does space smell like? What's that smell like?
It's a good question.
It is. I bet a little kid asked that. Go ahead and click that Space Jam 2.
Man, that's not even out yet. I can't find anything right now, of course. Okay, yeah, space station.
This weather's nice when you're sitting at the crib, just chilling. But
Yeah,
when you're out
so
moving in it.
all right, screw the all right, I'm going to go back to Kubrick. So there's like pictures and stuff of Kubrick with like high-ranking government officials.
If I was watching this, that would annoy me so much.
What?
So we'll find a link and put it in the description.
Yeah, I will.
For sure. Because I would have freaked. Like, you can't just keep going. But yeah,
So
go
yeah,
ahead.
literally this article says right here, John F. Kennedy had this is just an excerpt from the ParisReview.org. I don't know if this, how credible this is, but I mean it kind of lines up with what I've heard before. All right, it says John F. Kennedy had promised to send a man to the moon within the decade, and though we might be years behind the Soviets in rocketry, we were years ahead in filmmaking. If we couldn't beat them to the moon, we could at least make it look like we had.
JFK said this?
He didn't say this. This is someone writing an article about it. Basically, everything I just said is like that's what those three sentences is basically the conspiracy theory.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is the theory that since
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
faking it though and bro.
Okay,
lying?
honestly, this is gonna sound bad, but have you ever like not wanted to? This is horrible. You're not gonna.
Go
you
ahead.
always go to work.
Sure.
You're not gonna. Okay, so like, you got work friends. If you don't want to go to work and you tell the boss you're feeling sick, you're gonna tell your work friends you're feeling sick too. So you don't get caught up in that lie. Like, your homie's gonna treat you like you're sick if you're not feeling well at work.
Yeah.
You know.
I know what you're saying.
So to make
So we all
Russia
just,
believe it. America had to believe it too.
we all just kind of kept
We-
we all just kept this inside joke almost.
No, like America believed it.
But our superiors.
Yeah, they were like, "Look, you gotta make them
Like,
believe
shut
it
up.
too. We gotta make them believe it, bro. Or this ain't gonna work.
All right, so,
So it's got to be like a top secret set. No civilians can know about this.
so here's a couple,
Only Stanley.
a couple points. It says the biggest thing that I see is it says that there's, if you think about the video, the moon landing video, which I can pull that up. There's no stars in the video. Okay.
Do you see stars when you're in space?
Why would you not? You can see stars from here. Why would you not? You know?
But that's like, I'm trying to put this in form for people who haven't left
So,
Earth.
Here's the picture. You see, if you're a listener right now, pause it and go just Google Apollo 11 moon landing. You see? All right, we're in 1969, okay? Now picture this in a Hollywood.
Can you turn that towards me a little bit?
Yeah. Picture this in a Hollywood movie set. Very, very likely, you know? And this was live on CBS News in 69, July of 69. And mind you, this man made a space movie the year before. An astronaut space movie. So he kind of already knew what was up. Like how to create that set. You know? So yeah, you get the gist.
How long is this?
It's like 3 or 4 minutes.
I want to see them walk around. This isn't giving me much.
And yeah, this is another thing too, the flag. So yeah, they say with the flag, they're in a vacuum. There's no wind, okay? Like when you're in space, there's no wind. So the flag isn't going to be waving, which it's not there. It's not. It's not in the film. The footage.
Did he say it won't go in?
I think so. So there's that footage, okay? If you get it like this is what we're talking about. That footage right there, okay? All right, and it also says the American flag, the astronauts planted on the moon, which should have been flaccid, which means not moving. The moon existing in a vacuum is taunt in photos, even waving, revealing more than NASA intended. Knowing the flag would be flaccid and believing a flaccid flag was nowhere to declare victory, engineers fitted the pole with a crossbeam to hang the flag as if it looks like it. So they put like twisted poles in it.
It was like that.
Yeah. All right, and then it says there's only one source of light on the moon, the sun. Duh. Yet the shadows of the astronauts fall every which way, suggesting multiple light sources. You see? I mean, I don't know how well you're going to be able to... I mean, it's in black and white. So that's tough. I don't know about that. That's kind of hard to go on. All right, and then point 3 here says, if NASA had actually landed a craft on the moon, it would have left an impression and markings. It would have left an impression and markings during takeoff, yet, as can be seen in NASA's own photos, there isn't any. You know what it says, you know what would have left no impressions? A movie prop. Yeah, so and then the next one is the stars, which that was the biggest one to me. I was like, well, I don't know. I guess you're right. In a way, I don't know. You don't know what it's like in space. But if you think about it,
Well, I was trying to put it in a way.
We're on the Earth, and we can look up at these stars. Why would they just not be visible from the moon?
Because they're super far away.
But when you go to the moon, you get closer to them.
Exactly. That's like you can see all the buildings when you're outside the city, but once you get in the city, you can only see the building you're at. You know what I'm saying? And the ones that are around you.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. All right, let me see how many countries have been to the moon. That's just an interesting one. There's not really like a whole lot of... I mean, I watched a long-ass YouTube video about it, and like Stanley Kubrick was like in cahoots with like the government and stuff, apparently. Which, I mean, in the 60s, it would have been so easy to get away with something like that, man. You know, there's... they didn't have as much media. There wasn't as much...
Did people see the spaceship take off?
Apparently.
Was it at night?
I'm not sure. I'll look that up.
Do they usually launch at night?
I don't...
I don't know which would be better, launching during the day or launching during night. Because, like, if it was nighttime, you could see it because of the flames. Right?
Yeah, you would think.
What would be better?
So, yeah, wait.
Oh, do they usually launch during the day?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, then I want them to launch
Apollo
at night.
11 launch. Yeah, I mean, it's there.
I want them to launch at night.
So I just Googled how many countries have been... Yes, I actually saw this recently, which this is sort of recent news. 2013, China went to the moon in 2013.
Took them that long?
They were the third country to do it.
Get with the time.
Yeah, I know, right? But also...
We've been on this.
Also, you know what's sort of messed up? The reason why we haven't been back, NASA says that we lost the data. We can't find the data. We just don't know how to do it anymore. That's literally what someone from NASA said. Like, we just lost that data. What do you figure it out again?
Isn't it written down?
I don't know.
Isn't there a picture of like some girl standing next to a pile of books like as tall as her? And it's the code?
I'm not sure. So, have you heard this?
What's your favorite thing about space?
Go in there. Go in there. Because not many people have been there. It's nice
This is Buzz Aldrin. He went to the moon.
that other people haven't done. But you don't want to do dangerous things. You want to do successful things.
Looks batshit crazy.
If it's new and different, there may be
Scared.
Were you a little scared about going
I'd be
to
like,
the
were you
moon
scared of monsters up there?
again?
You didn't know what's up there.
Because nobody has been there before?
But people had gone up and down without staying in orbit. People, dogs and monkeys, people, Russian Yuri Gagarin. Then we've done a lot of things.
Hold on.
Have comments been disabled?
Yeah. Hold on. I don't want to say what he said. He literally says, gosh, I just want them to play that one clip. I mean, like, how do we not have the technology? Literally. I don't know. In this interview, he says, the girl says like something like about going to the moon, and he says, we didn't. And then just like pauses. Oh, here it is.
Has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
She said, why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to.
Is he trying to save it now? He's just, dude.
Like, you heard it, right? Like, he said,
He's got Alzheimer's.
right. But he literally said, we didn't. But if we didn't, then he was like trying to like save his ass. I don't know. He's definitely an old man. So I'll give him a bit of a break. It was probably not his idea. I don't know. There's no telling how he got roped into being a fucking astronaut. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Yeah. So what I was going to talk about, I just read an article that really upset me. And it's literally saying that Boulder police show little interest in report of pedophile's alleged Jonbenet Ramsey case confession.
Oh, okay,
Because he's literally like facing life. So now he's writing letters saying that
Where was this?
Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, you said Boulder. Okay,
Yeah, what
I didn't.
What do you think I meant?
I don't know. I
Said?
didn't catch that you were talking about Boulder. I thought I don't know.
Yeah,
All
Boulder,
right,
Colorado.
So Colorado. When was this, in the 90s?
96, 97.
All right.
I think it happened in 96. Case went on for years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. But super weird case. Actually, on the way back from Florida, I listened to is that your mic or my mic?
You're just being a little quiet.
Is this better?
You're good. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Actually, on the way back from Florida, I listened to this True Crime Garage podcast, and it was a 6-part podcast.
Were they all an hour long?
All hour long.
Holy
So
shit.
6 of my 9-hour drive, I was listening to Jonbenet Ramsey case. Yeah, it was
like testimonies and stuff, and like court
they started
files.
from the outside in. So, like the Santa Claus they hired to play Santa Claus at their family Christmas party, and it
Just trying to
closed
get
in
it-
on their close family. Because there's conspiracies that like Burke, their son,
Okay.
is the one that killed her, and they covered up the murder because they didn't want to lose 2 children. And because
That makes sense, though.
yeah, because earlier that year he accidentally hit her in the face with a golf club, and she had to get like plastic surgery
Holy
to fix
shit.
it. Yeah,
And he was older?
yeah, he was an older brother, and so a lot of people thought that that's what it was, and then some stuff came out later on the line saying that she might have been being molested, so they kind of blamed the dad. And then the housemaid came out and said something about Jonbenet wetting the bed a lot.
Mm.
So then they blamed the mother, saying that every morning she would have to get up, change the sheets, and
So she
one
was-
morning she just flipped out and, hit her
He's a
and
little
killed her on
girl.
accident. Yeah. And dude, like literally everyone got blamed because they
So
couldn't find someone.
Every person was blamed in a way because they were like, well,
Mm-hmm.
everyone had what do you call it? Fucking
A motive.
motive. They made everyone have a motive, even
Yeah.
though it might not have
Yeah.
actually been true.
Yes. And that, I don't know, it kind of, when I was in the car, it kind of made me think like cops will really just pick everything apart until something sticks, even if it's not the truth.
Even
They're
if
just,
it's not true.
we got to close this case.
Do you see Detroit, that movie?
No, you keep telling me. Dude, I started it
Oh,
that one
damn.
time and it couldn't hold my attention.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
long story very short. It's about the cops in Detroit, and they say that these group of black men did stuff, but they literally didn't. And the cops, they detained them, and they're like, "Hey, who did it?" And they were like, "We didn't." And then they ended up killing 2 or 3 of them. But yeah.
But yeah, what was I?
You were just saying, like, they went from the outside in. You listened to the podcast. You read an article.
Oh yeah, so while
The
listening
cops.
to the podcast,
Last thing you said was the cops.
well, yeah, the cops will just they're picking this family apart,
Right,
man.
right.
And I mean the crazy thing is like, so did you listen to this case at all?
When I was younger, I remember seeing it on TV,
Yeah,
sort of.
like
watching
what
like
is
some
it?
TV
Nancy,
show.
whatever.
Sort of. I remember watching like some little.
I think her name's Nancy Drew.
No, it wasn't Nancy Drew. Nancy
Grace.
Nancy Grace sounds right. Blonde lady.
Yeah,
I think it's Nancy Grace.
she covered Holly Bobo too, I think.
Nancy
I honestly hate Nancy
Grace. That's who it is.
I do not
She's
like
annoying,
Nancy.
but
I feel like she asks people like, "Are you on Facebook?" Like, I hate it. But
okay, so yeah,
yeah, so they woke up one morning. There was a ransom note on their stairs, and then
like
their daughter was missing.
inside the house or
Inside
out?
the house, written on a pin that was proven to be from inside the house, paper that was proven to be from inside a notebook inside the house, and the daughter was found in the basement inside the house.
And they were
Who
like,
leaves a ransom letter?
and they were like, "Where is she? Where is she?" And she ended up being inside the home.
Yeah,
Fuck.
dead inside the basement.
How? Was she strangled?
Strangled, and then there was a fracture in her skull.
I mean, she was what, 7?
I think
Less
7.
than 10.
Oh, definitely.
And
She
like,
was not
come
10.
on, like she's a little girl. Like anything could have severely injured her. You know?
Yeah, and I don't know, man. It's a weird case. It's a weird, super weird case. It's still not closed. But what I was saying was,
Oh, for real?
yeah, no, that's not. That's they haven't
Unsolved.
proved anything. Yeah, that's not solved at all.
Holy shit! I didn't know that actually.
And the parents were cleared. The brother was cleared.
they fucking did that shit.
I think they did too.
They did, bro.
Like, who goes in a house, kills a little girl, takes enough time to write a ransom note, leaves on the stairs, and leaves the girl's body
down in the basement of the house.
Right. Like,
What did like DNA, like did they not have like fingerprints or anything on, like was there
they
any,
said the house was really dirty. To be like, they were a wealthy family, dude. Like,
that's strange.
the husband's company made like $1 billion in 1 year.
That's super strange though. Why would the house be dirty? Plus they had a maid,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, it's a super, super weird case, and it's like the guys that I was listening to, he was like, we could have done 100 episodes on this case, but we're not gonna do that, obviously.
What were
because
some like interesting things that they like give me like some interesting like points they brought, like, you know?
Dude, I mean, like, it's not even points that.
Yeah, well, they were just telling the
Yeah,
story.
they were telling the story, but they were
Well, give
like,
me.
okay, let me think of what some of these guys said. Like, I'm trying to think of the actual case.
Right.
I'm not sure. Okay.
And she
I'm
was
not
like
sure what
a
they said.
she was like a like a pageant girl, right? Like a
Oh yeah,
like
dude.
a
Like
beauty
she was
queen type
she was
deal?
named like Little Miss Colorado or something like that. Like, she was big into pageants.
Yeah.
Like, she was a gorgeous little girl. Like,
Yeah.
super cute. And dude, I think like something accidentally happened to her. I really want to go with the whole Burke thing.
But then at this,
because
that makes the most
the
sense.
autopsy said that she didn't die from the fracture. She died from strangulation.
In theory, look, Big Brother slammed her on the ground or something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, "Oh fuck, like she's fucked up, she's really hurt," and then just finished it off. I mean, that's
the only thing that
so
makes me think that the parents helped him cover it up is because she was strangled by this thing called like a gourd. It's like a Spanish weapon. It's like a string tied to a stick, and then you twist the stick, and it tightens around the neck.
Where did they?
And it's like it has very intricate knots.
Yeah.
On it.
How do you acquire one? You know,
It was made from items inside the home. That's another thing. Like, so this guy came in, rode around. Like, this guy must have been in there for hours.
And like, what were the parents? You know, just knocked out upstairs, taking a nap.
It was in the middle of the night.
Oh, holy dude! So, who is anyone in jail for this now?
No.
No one.
No. That's what I was saying. So while
Yeah.
I was listening to this podcast,
Okay.
they mentioned this guy named Gary Olive. Either Oliver or Olive.
Okay.
I think it's Oliver. But like one of the guys on the podcast was like, you know, usually like when you see a pedophile, you're like, yeah, put me in a room with him, I'll handle him. But like this guy might not want to do that. Like he just doesn't look like
He's like a brute guy. Like
like he looks like an animal. And so I googled him, and it said in 2019, January
wow.
10th and 11th, 2019, he confessed. And I was like, wow, that's kind of not. I mean, for a case that was
20
booming,
years ago.
yeah, you know,
Fuck. I mean, where's he now?
prison for
That?
pedophilia.
Oh.
Pedophile.
And he was like, "Hey, I also did this."
So he got so many years in there, and I think he's getting bored. So he was just like, he wrote this creepy note. I'm getting my podcast, dude. I listen to other ones besides that.
I don't listen to as much of these like true crime podcasts.
I love them, especially on like long rides. But
I just because
so basically, he fessed up to the Jonbenet Ramsey case.
and he was it matched up type shit. Like,
No,
you know, like
they-
was he like from Colorado? Like, you know what I'm saying? Did he know the family? Like, does it? Basically, what I'm asking you is, do you think he was lying?
Yeah, I think he's just in there bored. He's wanting to stir some stuff up.
So it wouldn't have made sense for him to do it. Just logically, like physically.
Oh no. Okay, that's what you're
You
asking.
know?
Yeah. No, he was a suspect in the case,
Okay.
but he got cleared.
Do you know how? Like, what made him? Like, how was he close to the family?
I think he was like a neighbor. I think he lived right down
Family
the
friend
road.
or something?
He lived right down the road. But
And like,
I think his name was cleared because he had friends over and they were partying like until like early morning.
dad was.
No, the
Oh, like he had an alibi.
yeah, the Gary guy.
Ah. And that's dude. You know what's wild? We sat here and talked about this for 10 minutes. That's it. That's all that we know.
Yeah.
Like, dude, and that's wild. That is actually mind blowing if you really think about that. Like, dude, there's nothing else that we know about it. There's no other factual information. You know?
There's dude, I'm telling you
I mean,
that
is there like from what I'm understanding, like that's it. That's the narrative.
basically, yes, that's it. That sums it up. But
Like,
I know it's crazy, but I think like the family had so much money that they just kind of got away with murder.
Kind of like OJ.
Yes.
Just a team of lawyers and
Yes.
and
dude, they were stacked.
Well,
Like the ransom note asked for 118,000, which is an odd number, and that's exactly what his Christmas bonus was. Or yearly bonus.
dude, they did it. Why were they?
They're right. That's what I'm saying.
Were
And
they not like heavily investigated? Like
they were, but see, the thing is, they made the wife rewrite the letter like 3 times, and she was put on the lower spectrum, but she's as a, what is that,
Ambidextrous.
Yeah, so she can write with both hands.
Huh.
But I'm sure she wrote with that hand that didn't.
And so her
yeah.
left-handed might have looked the same, but that right hand was a different
Yeah.
handwriting. The A's might have been different. Or
Exactly, and she was. So Jonbenet is like a. It's like a. Not an American name, you know what I'm saying? Jonbenet.
yeah, definitely. It's for French or something.
Yeah, it's French. So she would use the lines over the things,
Mhm.
and they they said bring a large something to put the money in. I forgot what the name of it was.
Yeah.
It was a French name for a satchel, and it had the lines over it, and her mom liked doing that with her name, which isn't a common thing here.
Yeah, like.
And then they spelt words wrong. It seemed like on purpose, you know, like things with 2 P's would have 1 P. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, really though, what other?
And this guy, there was also a suspect, was they made him write it like 7 times, and it's a 3-page thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a 3-page ransom note. Who goes in there and writes? First of all, you knock a girl in the head, knock her out, fracture her skull with something.
And that's the only
Then
one.
you build a weapon to choke her out with, hide her in the basement, write a 3-page ransom note with supplies in the house. Then you dip before anyone wakes up.
I just want to know how
And then
they.
the 911 call was weird.
Okay, tell me about that. Cause
So the 911 call was like at the end of it, they thought they hung up, and like you could hear Bert say something like, "What did you find?" And then the dad was like, "We're not talking to you." Like he was in trouble, you know?
like you just killed our
Yeah,
daughter.
you got us in a bunch of shit. Shut up.
So
Like,
he
it's
did
about
that
to get
shit.
real.
So, did the brother have like a mental illness or anything? You know, like was he like, you know?
I mean, no, but it don't take much. I mean, he was like 2 years older than her,
Yeah,
maybe.
I know
And,
what you're saying. I mean,
she's
she's
still in all the spotlight. She's going to all these pageants.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, it don't take much for a kid to get jealous, and she could have moved something in his room, and that was like, nah, this is my stuff, and you're not going to take this from me.
So what it sounds like, man. So like, what it sounds like literally is like I mean, it sounds like little big brother like did something accidentally and severely injured her, and then like they couldn't have, and then like you said, they were millionaires or whatever, had all this money to cover it up, and maybe even had like you know in Breaking Bad, Mike, bald guy, who was like there to clean up the shit. Like whenever Jesse's girlfriend OD'd,
Mm-hmm.
and like he walked in there, grabbed all the drugs. He was like, cover up your track marks. He was like, you woke up, you saw her laying there. That's all you know. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe they have a mic. Do you see what I'm saying?
You're right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like
it is.
not like a hitman, but like someone who can just be like, let me get rid of all the evidence.
Yeah.
Does that, you don't know anything. You woke up, this was here, that's all you know. They were probably that rich, cuz like
You're right.
Mike-
I mean, yeah, they were loaded,
Mike
dude.
in Breaking Bad, like he was Gustavo's like henchman. He did all of Gus's dirty work. And then like he was a hitman, I guess, but like not really. He was more of just a get your hand. He's the guy to clean you up when you did some dirty shit.
Yeah.
They probably hired someone who was like, "Hey, little big brother, get in here and you talk to this man." And this man was like, "You do not say a word. We'll cut your nuts off," or something like like.
But and then there was like at the end the ransom note,
Mm-hmm.
it said like
It's crazy. It's 3 pages, bro. I was picturing like
Dude.
we want the money here, sent in an envelope, boom, like like
yeah,
that.
no,
That's what
listen,
I was picturing in
that-
my head,
okay,
not a
here we go.
letter.
This is this is what one of the guys said in the ransom note. It was like you you might want to get some sleep because this is going to be very tiring for you, like the drop off and stuff. Like, what ransom note is going to be like, hey, get some sleep,
Write a Dr. Seuss book.
like eat some oatmeal, make sure you have your protein for the day because you're dropping off 118K to the people who have your daughter. It's going to be exhausting.
So the ransom note, hold on. The ransom note was saying that we kidnapped your daughter.
Yeah,
but
we
in
have your
reality,
She's in the basement.
in reality, the people killed her, quote unquote, killed her and threw her in the basement.
Yeah.
That's a wild goose chase if I ever heard one.
Dude.
They're like, hey, we have your daughter, when in reality, it's actually right below you, under your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that is fucking crazy.
And who doesn't run? Okay, honestly, that I guess I would stop. I don't know, dude. Probably not. I probably wouldn't stop looking for my daughter around the house, even if I did find the ransom note. I'd be going crazy. I wouldn't be able to sit down.
Absolutely not, man. The first thing I would do before I even called 911 is look everywhere in my
Yeah.
house, my property, my car, everything.
Well, I mean,
And
honestly,
then,
would you not panic when you saw a ransom note, though?
Would you call 911? All right.
I'd be like, Lauren, call the cops.
Okay, yeah.
I'm still looking.
Yeah,
but
okay,
they didn't
true,
do that. He
true.
was talking in the back.
True. So what did the...
And they immediately... Okay, so if this is a real ransom note,
Yeah.
they saw the ransom note, didn't read all 3 pages, because who's got time for that
Yeah.
when your daughter's missing, called the cops, and then later on, I guess read the full thing, and it was like, you call the cops, she dies. You try to outsmart us, she dies. You try to do this and that, she dies. She's already dead in the basement, first of all. If they read the full note, then they would know, like, don't call the cops.
Yeah.
But that's the first thing they do. And
Well, in that
at the end of it, it says, like, SBTC victory. And
did they decipher that? at
no,
all?
that has not been
SBV
SBTC victory.
SBTC.
I think that's the letters, but that has not ever been deciphered.
I mean, and that's so, like, why would... All right, say Lil Johnny didn't do it, say Big Brother didn't do it, and the parents did it. Why would they be so at peace with, like...
That was another conspiracy because they thought that the dad was molesting the daughter.
Ah.
So they killed her. But then they kind of like debunked that one because like usually pedophiles don't just target one child, and he had other children that were way older, like living on their own and stuff, and they're like, no, our dad's not capable of that.
That's kind of like that Casey Anthony case. You heard much about that?
I thought that was just because she wanted to go crazy and,
Dude,
be not a mom.
Well, that's... Yeah, but, like, that...
But they covered up for it.
That went on for a while, and I mean, I'm pretty sure that she got off.
No way. No.
Pretty sure she got off. Because they found baby in the trunk with, like, a sticker on her forehead,
What?
Yeah, man.
I thought they found baby where they buried all the dead hamsters.
Hold on.
A sticker on her forehead, bro?
Yeah, man.
Kind of stupid.
All right, it says... Casey lied to detectives, telling them Kaylee had been kidnapped by a nanny and that she'd been trying to find her, too frightened to find... she was scared. She was charged with first-degree murder in 2008.
So she went to jail.
She did that.
Okay, yeah.
That's crazy. All right. Investigative reports and trial testimony vary between duct tape being found near the skull on, like, she had her mouth tied fucking duct tape shut. That's crazy. And chloroform. They found chloroform.
Yeah, and didn't they find like they searched her computer and it was like
How to
yeah.
get rid of a body. Yeah.
No, I thought it was like how to use chloroform or something like
Counter
that,
the
or how to
charge.
get chloroform.
They were
and-
saying that her defense was that the baby drowned in a pool. And then lied about that too.
Yeah, didn't she just want to like be single with this
Wanted a
new
party,
boyfriend?
Go party
Yeah,
and
like
stuff.
she got a new boyfriend and wanted to, you know, her daughter was getting in the way of that.
Yes, basically. But yeah, so that one's much more like cut and dry. Like,
What a whore!
yeah, right. That one's
I
much,
don't use that kind of language on this podcast, but man,
that one's much more cut and dry. It's like,
no,
baby,
that case went on forever.
it did, but they got to a
Yeah,
logical, how do you put it? A logical solution. There was a real like, oh, she did that, and here's why, and here's some evidence on top of that. You know.
that sticker thing creeps me out, man.
All right. Let me get into
Tell me about Holly Bobo.
yeah, this Holly Bobo stuff. We'll get
because I
into
didn't know that was in Tennessee.
this is a
till
little
just
more
now.
this is a little more local. I'll just go on the Wikipedia and just kind of I'm going to read the thing, you know. All right. So, this was in Decatur County, Darden, Tennessee, which is like West Tennessee-ish. This was 2011, 2010, and it says 6 men have been arrested for varying degrees involvement in the crime. However, only 3 of the 6 have been prosecuted. Most of the arrests were made on the basis of confession by a man with an intellectual disability named John Dylan Adams, who police saw his brother Zach and friend Jason Autry with Holly's brother after her kidnapping. Yada yada. All right, so there's a group of people who were involved in this, apparently. 3 of them are in jail right now, 3 aren't. And it says Dylan, Zach, and Autry were charged with especially aggravated kidnapping, first-degree murder, and rape. Of the other 3 men arrested, charges were dropped on 2 of them, and 1 committed suicide without any charges being filed against him. So he did that, and then he was so guilty. The case has been set with several setbacks, such as death of a suspect, obviously, the guy killed himself, multiple changes to the prosecutorial team, and disputes with the TBI, the FBI of Tennessee. The prosecution has been heavily criticized for its refusal to produce evidence against the defendants, missing multiple discovery deadlines, and for making frequent changes to the charges against the defendants with little explanation. The TBI even briefly withdrew its services to the entire district after the prosecutor accused it of compromising the case by proceeding so slowly that the culprits still had yet to receive a... Yeah, they were bullshitting on like investigating it. You know what I'm saying? That's like what they're saying. They were like procrastinating it, and like there's a girl who died. You know.
So how old was the girl?
It says October. She was born 90. She was 21 when she died.
Is there a motive?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm not really sure. And yeah, he was sentenced. So Zach, a jury found Zach guilty on all charges, including first-degree murder, included life in prison plus 50. He maintains his innocence. In 2018, Zach's brother Dylan accepted an Alford plea when he was sentenced to 35 years. I'm trying to figure out. There's. Okay, so here's the disappearance. Here's they have like a timeline here. So 4:30 a.m., Holly awoke to study for an exam. 7:30, Holly answered a call from her boyfriend, Drew Scott, who was turkey hunting. Blah blah blah. 7:42, 7:42 a.m. Holly made her last cell phone call. After this point, all calls and texts were incoming and unanswered. At some point, this call ended. A neighbor heard a scream from the Bobo residence. 7:46, the neighbors called his mother to tell her about the scream. Her mother to tell her about the scream. Like, hey, we heard your daughter screaming in the house, you know. 7:50, Clint was awakened by the family dogs barking and saw a man with Holly outside. It appeared to be Holly kneeling down and Drew. They looked like they were kneeling down, facing each other in the garage, and they were talking back and forth. Holly sounded very upset and heated. He was doing much of the talking, and she wouldn't answer back at things like that. I couldn't make out hardly any of the words. This is like testimony, like the neighbor. The only words I can make out were Holly saying, "No, why?" Clint said that he believed the couple were breaking up. At some point, Karen called home and spoke to Clint. I said, "Clint, that's not Drew. Get a gun and shoot him." Clint reportedly replied, "You want me to shoot Drew?" Still believing this man was Holly's boyfriend. Karen is...
Oh, wait. Who called who?
All right, so I'm trying to figure that out. The neighbor
Called the brother?
The neighbor called the mom.
And said, that's not Drew?
I think the neighbor called the mom, and then the mom called the brother and said, "Hey, go shoot that motherfucker." The dude, because that's not her boyfriend.
Was it really not?
I'm not really sure. It says, yeah, her boyfriend was Drew. So yeah, I'm guessing that it's a different dude. Drew is her boyfriend. Drew was not there. Okay. And it says Karen called 911, 7:55 a.m. She was calling from work, and this is so messed up. Because she was calling from work, she reached the dispatcher for the wrong county. At home, Clint looked outside again and saw the man dressed in camouflage walking with Holly into the woods. At this point, he noted the man with Holly was larger than Drew. He tried to call Holly's cell as well as Scott's cell.
Why'd he not run out there?
That's funny, yeah. I don't know.
Wouldn't you?
If some random person was walking in the woods with my sister, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me too.
I mean, yeah, man. The mom called the house again. Clint told her what he saw, said call 911. Clint got a loaded pistol and went outside, where he found blood stains belonging to Holly in the carport, then called 911. Police began to arrive at the Bobo residence. Cell phone pings showed Holly's cell moving away from her home, headed north. Her cell phone continued north to a wooded area near Interstate 40, where her remains were found. The cell phone stopped moving for 20 to 30 minutes. The cell phone began traveling south again using a different route. The last cell phone ping came from Holly's phone in the area where... So basically they dumped the phone. So... I don't know.
Dude, that's weird.
That is a weird situation.
Why would he not go out there? Even if my sister was in the garage arguing with her boyfriend,
Right.
I'd go out there and be like, yo,
chill, bro. Like,
yeah.
I don't care if you're older than me or anything. No, like...
How old was the brother?
I'm not... It doesn't give me that. I'm not sure. At the time, Holly Bobo was a 20-year-old nursing student at UT Martin. She was cousin... It doesn't say... Yeah, that's strange, but apparently the prosecution, like, they didn't handle, like I was saying, apparently they didn't handle that right. Like, I guess they just didn't. It's a murder.
Yeah.
You know, in Tennessee, like, yeah, people get murdered in Tennessee sort of often, but, like, a murder case, you got to take that serious.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that is weird. I'm going to have to look into that more.
Yeah,
I was Googling. It said that Bobo was last seen alive by her brother Clint shortly before 8 a.m., walking into the woods outside her home with a man wearing camouflage.
Mm-hmm.
In September of 2014, Partial remains found in northern Decatur County, and her death was ruled a homicide via a gunshot to the back of the head. Super weird.
That's very weird, and it's crazy because that's so like close to home, you know. And I mean,
Ooh, the untold story from private investigators on the Holly Bobo case. But when I was Googling this, I Googled motive.
yeah, I'm just on
And there's
Wikipedia too.
That was Wikipedia.
Okay.
It was a Holly Bobo movie. There's a movie.
Yeah, they did one on like Discovery Channel or something. They did like a documentary on there too. But yeah, that's very strange. It's very, very strange. I mean, she, you know, I don't know. That's weird. Maybe like her boyfriend. I don't know, man. It's tough to even say.
It's kind of, it's different when they're...
Close.
Yeah.
And that's a creepy one, dude.
That is a creepy one.
That's really.
That's like
a straight up slaying, like a.
Did she know that guy?
Right. That I don't know. The article.
Who would walk into the woods with someone you didn't know and argue with them in your garage?
And then
it almost makes me think like, I mean, he was wearing camo. Like, yeah, I was turkey hunting with your boyfriend. There's been an accident. Like, come with me.
Right.
Right. Like that's immediately what I thought. Like, she was screaming like, no, like.
The neighbor. All that the neighbor said was they could hear her say no. Why? You know.
Mm-hmm.
Like screaming no.
And it was a group of guys that did it, or just one? Like, was there people waiting in the woods?
I'm not really sure. It said that there was 6 people who were arrested and 3 were convicted. So at least 3 of those people, and one of them committed suicide out of the 6. So he knew.
I want to know what her boyfriend had to say.
That's an interest. That's interesting. I wanna see if that's on Hulu or Netflix.
I want to know how old the brother was.
Yeah, that's true.
And why he didn't go out there with a gun in the first place.
Cause he said that's not my sister's boyfriend to his mom on the phone. He was like, that's not whatever's Clint. He's like, that's not Clint.
Drew.
Yeah, he was like, that's not Drew. Maybe he was young, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe that kind of makes a difference, because if he was like older brother, he probably would have already been out there and whooped dude's ass for no reason, you know?
Yeah.
But if he was like 12 or something, he might have been like, "Hey mom, like there's somebody in the garage like yelling at my sister Holly," and he might have been more hesitant. But like if he's like 5 years older than her, he might have stomped the shit out of dude. And he, if there was a group of people, he might have been the one who got killed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then that would have made it even more confusing.
Yeah, like what was this? Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a weird case right there.
And that's like,
I do remember Nancy Grace talking about it.
That's like 2 hours from here.
Is it?
Yeah, like West Tennessee. They said near UT Martin, which is in Parsons, which is like 2 hours, hour and a half, like Cookeville.
Closer than Knoxville.
Not close to, not like on East Tennessee, but like West Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Like hour and a half, 2 hours from here. Country, little redneck town. The Wikipedia page, when I looked before, it said the city had 400 people. That's wild.
That is wild.
That's
super small. Do you think how many people do you think live in Bell Buckle?
Probably about that much.
You think 400?
Probably 250.
Oh, that's not nothing, dude.
Imagine 2 bell buckles.
Colton used to,
for good measure. You know?
Yeah. That's trash.
Imagine 2 bell buckles. That's what that place was. So imagine that happening in that super small city.
And first of all, why were they up so early? She had a reason.
It said that she was studying for an exam.
Yeah, but
at 4 a.m.
This dude's over at her house trying to...
Well, they were turkey hunting. Her boyfriend was turkey hunting.
Yeah, but that wasn't her boyfriend.
Right. But her boyfriend was up that early because he was hunting.
Yeah, I know.
And then she was up early. I don't know the dude. I don't know. The brother said that he was in camo too.
The brother was also in camo?
No, it said that the dude that she was talking
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
was in camo as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it had to have been something about the boyfriend. Had to have been.
Yeah. Either they were jealous or like maybe, I don't know. She did something to piss boyfriend off.
I'm going to solve this stuff on my own.
Yeah. Well, I want to watch that. It's probably already, it's
It's
since the
solved.
people have already been arrested and put away for 50 years.
I just want to know the motive, really. That's what's killing me.
Yeah.
And you couldn't find the motive anywhere.
We'll get to that next time. You got anything you want to say?
How long have we been running?
At an hour.
Okay, cool.
Hour 1 minute. At 100 subscribers, we're going to be doing a YouTube giveaway. If you're still listening to this, you're a real one. I want to make this clear. If you're on Apple Podcasts, press that subscribe button and leave a review. Leave a 5-star review. That'd be awesome. Follow me on Spotify. I'm not a big Spotify guy, but just follow me on there. I've been seeing like you guys are actually listening to those audio only versions. I've been getting about 300 plays a month, which is pretty good. Cause it combines like Spotify and YouTube together. Cause like whenever you do like the audio only podcast, you have to do a host site and then it sends it off. Cause like technically I'm on like Google and these other podcast apps, but combined YouTube or combined Apple and Spotify, I'm doing about 250 a month, which is pretty good.
Yep. Slightly Daily Podcast, coolest podcast in the world. Man, that's not that one either.
We can't
What is this?
That's no jumper, man. We can't do that. We gotta find. We're gonna find ours one day.
Okay.
Cause Joe Rogan.
I've already tried
Joe
No
Rogan
Jumper and Nardward. Man, keep getting it wrong.
Connor's here again. He's gonna, he'll be here. This podcast wouldn't be possible without him. I really enjoy this. Please follow me at Slightlee Daily. Thank you guys so much.